Okay. I have to get myself together. All right. So, yeah. In that, I will say, yes, I said, God, you're going to tell me to do it. And I can tell different stories of how the Lord supernaturally, miraculously, embarrassingly, all kind of things have snatched me, okay, out of the fire. So, I know that to be a thing. But this is more so what I wanted to share, some scriptures. Because again, if you're seeking to honor the Lord with that desire, um, the Lord has plenty to say about how we use our bodies, but these are some of the scriptures that came to my mind. So Titus 2:11-14, it says, "For the grace of God has appeared that offers salvation to all people. It teaches us to say no to ungodliness and worldly passions and to live self-controlled, upright, and godly lives in this present age, while we wait for the blessed hope, the appearing of our great God and Savior, Jesus Christ, who gave himself for us to redeem us from all wickedness and to purify for himself a people that are in his very own, and to purify for himself a people that are his very own, eager to do what is good." All right, there's a lot in that. But I wanted to say, number one, in my abstinence journey, but I am speaking to the Christian in all of it. The grace of God keeps us. Okay? That's the message, really. The grace of God keeps us. The grace of God teaches us. And when I say teaches us, then there are clearly some things that we don't know and we learn. And if grace has to teach us to say no to ungodliness and those passions, then I will say this, and what I learned, and I think I heard it from Pastor Mason, Eric Mason, is that having sexual desires is normal and natural. Desiring to have sex, that is what you want, especially in the context of marriage. If you don't have any desire to have sex, I am not God and I'm not Paul, but I would say, and you trying to get married, pray about that and be honest about that, because I don't know, marriage may not be your lot, and it may be. I don't know. But I do want to say that marriage is a place where sex should be celebrated and enjoyed and loved and done as much as you can. So when you want to be married to someone, just please be honest about that. I'll say that. But the grace teaches us to say no. And my thoughts around that even were, if it was just an act of my will or anything I could just be so braggadocious about, I wouldn't have to be taught to say no. I had to be taught to say no to my ungodly passions. We can be passionate people in many different ways, but there is ungodly passions, there are worldly passions that raised us, and we need to learn to say no to them. And grace does that. So grace for myself, but grace for other people too that are on the journey. And so I want to say again, if grace is teaching us these things, what do I have to be prideful about and to think highly of myself about? Because grace is undeserved goodness from the Lord. So, nothing to be walking around with my chest puffed out. But I could point to the one who gave his life for me and gives me power. And then another verse is Romans 12:1-2. And basically he's saying, I plead with you to give your bodies to God because of all he has done for you. Let them be a living and holy sacrifice, the kind he will find acceptable. This is the true way to worship him. Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way that you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. Again, I say these verses because there's some key words, definitely about our body, definitely about the sacrifice of it all, meaning death. You're dying to yourself. And it will feel like that.